This is Wake Up with Wags. Or not Wake Up with. We're gonna do a rewind with Wags. I've got so many videos right now that need to be out there. They're longer videos where I kind of talk good and we find stuff on radar or whatever. It could be further in where people aren't gonna see a video of mine that far in, especially if you're a new visitor. You're just gonna see the first couple minutes and not go past. So this is important to me. I don't know what we're catching here. I caught this initially yesterday on the 10th. This is just prior to the storm. Hang on, let me check my camera here. And one second. So the point is, we want to get this on the record. Something happened, and let's find out what we can put together and see if we can get this out there and let me get this chair comfortable and get some people here that can figure this out. And since it's buried in a bunch of my other videos, I found another one today. So here we go. So yesterday, there's a big storm coming into the Nebraska, basically from Denver to Minnesota, let's say. Going to hit northern Wisconsin, etc. So the majority of the snow, they're calling it a bombardiro or whatever the hell it's called, these new terms. I don't care what you want to call it. They're land hurricanes, they're water hurricanes on land, they're typhoons on land. They're coming up with so much crap. Okay, now I caught this. I'm like, what am I looking at, right? You guys can see from here there's a triangle shape. So I see that on the radar, and then you could see that it looks like, man, maybe when they did the stripe over, how they do the passes and they glue the pictures together, possibly on that one angle, maybe that was what was going on. But then what about this side? You know what I mean? So the first day, and you could see the whole strip from right here over here on the right to right here. So basically this black diamond or triangle to this one, like this piece is almost added. But look down here at all this weird mist down by Cuba. It's going to become an important issue the next day because I don't realize this at the time. All right. So I'm like, all right, whatever. What's going on? The other day. I can't pause this editing, so I'm going to have to try and work my way through this as fast as I can. Let me see what else we got on here. So that was the main thing. Then the other thing I noticed in this weather pattern that's unusual, this is the view we get now from NOAA's World View, it's called. See these weird stripes in each strip. So basically in the center of each pass, there's like light is not getting through the center of this piece. So I'm starting to wonder, is this the new chemtrails that the Bill Gates started in 2019 spring, and we've seen it kick off huge. The weekend of the spring is when they started here anyways. And is this what is now being blocked, and then it's eventually going to spread out and cover the whole thing? Because his thing is to block the sun. Look over here. You could barely see the water through this haze. These are chemicals, and it's in every region. So I think what they're doing is they're spraying, and then they're going to spray. They crisscross, and eventually, by the end of the spring, as he said, we're going to watch this. We're going to watch and see if this starts getting wider, and ends up taking up the whole strip. All right? That's what I'm afraid of. And the next thing you should be afraid of then is you're inhaling this shit at some point. And I hate to be so blunt, but this will kill people slowly. Okay? So if these chemicals, we don't know what they are. That's the scary part. So whatever this shit is to block the sun, is going to come down and settle at ground level. If you ever go out in your, especially in the morning time, it seems like the light rays are bending different, whatever. Look at trees in the distance. If you got like a couple 100 yards out, you're driving, whatever, it always looks like there's like an oil mist at ground level. Take a look at it. Just look further out, more towards your horizon, and you'll see a mist. You'll see what I'm talking about. Or if you see a video where somebody's showing like their vacation and they're out in the mountains, take a look at those foothills. See what you see. They're always covered. Now, when we were doing the video, they lost this section of radar for some reason, or satellite. So then we switch over, and I start noticing I have this triangle pattern I've been following. It goes from Florida, another zone by Japan, another zone by Australia, and you draw a triangle. And that triangle aims east. I don't know why, and I'd like somebody to actually do a map and see where that line is going. If it ends up landing in some weird pyramids and stuff on a certain parameter, which I think it is close to that, just from what I've seen in research, then something strange is going on. Anyways, I start noticing this non-storm. There is no storm here. This is Jamaica down here. This up here is Cuba, and we're watching these weird interference on the radar. It would come and go. Right? Well, down here is a key, way down here in the bottom right, and I think 70 is the top. This is blowing the doors off the peak of the radar. So here, see these purples? The purples are down here on the bottom right. This is not a storm. This was fading in and out, and it was pulsating when this would go in and out in Cuba. Now, up in Cuba, something's going on. You can see here, it was darkening this out, and we always are getting out here. See these blocked out radar? Up here, you'll see these blacked out radar off the coast of Florida, past the Bahamas. There's stuff parked out here, and you'll see lightning coming off it. It's not lightning. It's not a storm-related lightning, anyways. And I'll show you in a second. These are in 3 other major parts of the world, and now we're finding it even more. So I wonder if this has something to do with the new program, or is it just part of regular weather manipulation? It could be just that. But it's definitely something that's being activated. So, fast forward. Here's the Australia section. Here's the Japan section. Here's the Florida section. What you would need to do is out here in the water, we could figure out an approximate spot to make an X. You draw a line from up here down to Australia. Then you draw your angle all the way to Florida, Bahamas, let's say, right outside here. And from here, you draw the same line. You have an arrow now pointing towards Africa or possibly a little bit north in Europe up there. So why is that? And I believe you're passing through the Bermuda Triangle as well. So it's kind of interesting that they're using these 3 points. And Hawaii is right here in the center. So stay with me for a second, because this is going to get real crazy when I show you what happens today. So I zoom back in and I watch this for a while. Okay. And these numbers are off the scale. So whoever lives in this area, Kingston and all that, and it's not that big of an island, you were being fried, apparently, yesterday, okay? So, now you see an antenna array happening here in Cuba. So it looks like the center of the antenna, you always could tell there's a white or a bare spot right in the middle. It's almost like the center of a hurricane, right here. So this antenna is shooting waves out in every direction. Okay, for some reason it's not showing up over this land, and I'm not sure why. But then you see the concentration in this direction really zapping the hell out here. So they may have been focusing a beam and hitting Jamaica from here to do a test. Because you see the antenna rays going up this way, but it's open to this way. Is this a cone? See what I'm saying? I'm just guessing. I have no idea. Maybe they love Jamaica. I don't know. So that was what was going on there. And here's the other weird thing. Hang on, I think I just passed it. When they are blocking radar for whatever reason, see down here this cluster? way out here south of Hawaii and all that, you'll see these clusters of these like boat-looking things that are blacked out, and then you'll see these lightning bolts that are happening on it. So here they are here. So here you got, this is in Central America. This isn't usually here. So I'm like, whoa, where did these come from, right? Look at all these black dots. There's lightning going off, but there is no storms. And these look like they're either barges or something. Something that they don't want you to see what it is, so they blur it out. Okay? So I don't know if I zoom in on any of it. Look at the
Florida
activity
ones
here.
were acting like when I
This
first
is
saw them. It
yesterday
looked like it
during
was just
the
crazy busy.
beginning of that big snowstorm.
Anybody want to tell me what this is?
This whole area is
it's
charged
not
up
ground
electrically.
clutter. There's
Look
no
at this.
airport there. That's over water.
You're over water here. There's no airplanes.
Far enough away
there's
from the
nothing
land,
landing.
probably so nobody could see.
Okay, so something really strange was going on. Okay, and now again, there's this triangle section right in here. Somehow, they're pulling power, and I don't know. And now you're getting it down here. Look down here, no data. They were knocking the power out, or allegedly were knocking the power out of Colombia right up here. So it's kind of funny that suddenly there's all these weird blacked out radar ship looking things full of electricity just west of Colombia that weren't there before. I've documented this for a few months now. This triangle is always right off the coast of the Bahamas, Japan, and Australia, not on this side of Central America. So there's a difference there. Whether it means anything, I have no idea. But it sure is a little coincidental. So were they zapping? I saw on the news yesterday, one of these clips, that they were losing fresh power, like a new power wave went down. So was that what was going on here? And it was just juicing up the power all around it, you know what I mean? So we clear this out, and I want to look at what happened today. And that puts us over here. Where's today's video? Right here. So then, see, this is 3 hours long. This is why I have to do these recaps, and I got to do it on whatever topic. It's just too long. You're never going to watch 3 hours of me just rambling. So, for now, until I get more organized and how to do this, I'm just going to talk, and then I'll go back and recap it. So, now we start looking at the maps right away. Here I'm showing you what I just showed you. This was in Iowa, down. You got that weird mist past Cuba right here, right? I wasn't paying attention. Why? But watch this. So then I'm like, oh, shoot. I noticed that it didn't fix my title, so I was supposed to be talking about Israel. I'm like, ah, shit. So we went into some other stuff, but I want to get back to the maps here. Hang on. Israel was landing, the fourth country to land something on the moon. This is the last picture ever it made. Okay, so you're caught up on that. Now, let's get back to business here. We'll do the Israel shit later. The moon stuff later. Now, look at these patterns. I want to get back to here. These are patterns I've never seen. So this is all brand new. So here's today. What I just showed you was all yesterday. This is looking really weird, right? So I'm like, okay, here's yesterday. I'm showing you that. Now, here's today. Oop, hang on. And it's funny because they cut out part of the radar after this. So, now the triangle, instead of being over here in the Midwest, is now on the East Coast. Boston, all you guys over here. Okay? So, you can see it's still on that same line. And you can still see all the way out here, right? So, obviously, something's going on with the way it's striping it together. But look at this mist really growing, right? So then I'm like, all right, let's keep looking. Is there any electrical? And then I start seeing these circular waves. These look like when you cut a tree down and you see the circle rings. So these are new electrical patterns I'm seeing that I've never seen before. And this is over the United States. So I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird, right? So we're seeing a lot of electrical. We're seeing new, these new triangle-looking things. And when I zoom in, I'm gonna zoom in a minute. You could see the edge then I start asking, is there something like you're starting to see people talk about, like, did the reality crack or whatever? Is part of the matrix cracking? Is that what we're missing, like data wise, in these where it's connecting these stripes? It's not the satellite. That's to go along that theory. Just ask questions. You know what I mean? Now, here I get into look at the chemtrailing going on here. These lines you see, line after line. Let me make this a little bigger. These lines, line after line after line, inside these little, they look like little runways down here. Now, when that's happening, they're sending radio signals up to this layer that they laid earlier, and you could see the ring pattern. They're making a pattern with this frequency, right? You can believe it or not, it is what it is. You could put sand on a boombox speaker and turn it on to a certain frequency and replicate this exact pattern. You can make this pattern, the fishbone pattern. You can make all these patterns at what frequency yourself. So, the lines, then they're goofing around at this level. I mean, they're really doing something here. So then I go, well, let's take a look around. Look at this radar. This looks similar to the Brisbane ground clutter radar that covers the whole entire area. So it's not ground clutter. So let's see what's going on here. What am I finding here? Look at how this is. Look at this. Okay. And that is in the tip of Mexico, straight south of Illinois, by the way, if you go straight north of here. Here's Belize. Okay, also, this is just west of Venezuela, where they're having power outages, right? EMP type stuff that they're accusing us of, right? I have never recorded this signal right here. This is coming out of probably some mountains near Belize somewhere, okay? So you're watching a loop, and it just started happening at that point. So then,
all this energy here in Belize, right up into the Midwest, right above.
So here I show, it could be affecting that thing right down there. Could have been shooting up and directing the storms that just hit yesterday and today in the Midwest, right? Because look, it's right here. And it's going right up into this storm. You see what I'm saying? Is this like China or Russia maybe got a base here or whatever, antenna, whatever it is? They're messing with our Midwest, flooding it. I'm trying to say that there could be a little mini war going on that we don't even realize because it's all done with weather. And they can't talk about it because then they'd be breaking all these other treaties and da-da-da. So one is hitting us with rain, and we're hitting them with rain. Like when you see these snow showers and stuff happening in the deserts. Now, I go down here. Let's check out Brisbane. And watch this. This is where that other antenna anomaly, the first one I started noticing about a week or two ago, this pattern to begin with. So they still have it going on right here. And then way down here, look at all these little doohickeys, right? What are those? And whatever they are, they're sending out a lot of energy. And a lot of them you'll find they're usually round. Some look like barges. So it definitely looks like some kind of equipment. Here's circle ones down here. 1, 2. There's 4 big circle units down here, whatever that is. And then here's like a barge looking one. So I don't know what these are, but they're doing something. So you got a whole bunch show up right off of Central America. Their power's down in this whole country over here. Keeps going down every time they turn it back on. And then look how dark these clouds are underneath here. I found this when I was looking around. Look at the shadows that little baby cloud is making. It doesn't, up here, look, it doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying? So, we keep going around. What I'm doing is I'm following the edge of this. And then I find these little weird matrix-looking dots all over. Like they're even stitching it together, the east and west. So is that theory possible? Is something wrong with the Matrix? You know what I mean? It's an idea. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. But I've been hearing people talk about it, so I figured I'd cover it because it looks very strange. And when you look at it up close, the two edges aren't matching up. So is this one reality? Is this another reality? Are they rolling? Is like reality bumping along? Look at these two edges aren't matching at all. I mean, the object will match, but the colors and everything, you know. And you could say, okay, maybe it was that section of the camera when it was over Iowa, but now it's over the East Coast and it's doing the same damn thing. Except this time we're seeing these weird white dots, which are similar to the white dots I caught in those weird plasma beams that were coming down up by the Arctic that NASA says was them testing how to make their own Northern Lights. So that's all been taken care of what that was. And I'm pretty sure they were addressing my several hours of camera showing it, because I don't think there's many channels that did. So somebody at NASA figured they had to address it. Those look like faces. That's what I was showing there. But this is the edge. This is the line where the one side looks different than the other that makes up that weird triangle wedge. I don't know what it is. So that's why I keep showing that. So that's in the video. And then we get back to weather. Look at all the data turned off. So then I get into China, right? I think that's what we're coming into now. Wait, this is Colombia. I find out in China, holy... Oh, wait. I'm going to do this later. There's some object growing out of this brand new popsicle, or the sucker. I'll show you that later, though. And then when I search for it, it doesn't even show. Now, here's China, tonight. This happened in the last hour at the time I was recording this, because I was doing 1 hour loop, 3 hour, and 6 hour. So then, here's China. I'm like, what is this thing? What is that? Right? Is that the antenna? That's the one that's 4 times, it's in a hidden location, 4 times the size of New York City. That's their version of HAARP, but a lot bigger. So are they sending frequencies to make their own rain, or are they sending over to make us rain? You see what I'm starting to get at here? They're very active. We got shit being very active in South America, and China is on South America's side, and so is Russia, and all of a sudden you start seeing these weird things are happening. Are they arguing behind the scenes with this weather shit? Look at the radar on this thing, and it's got a center hole, and then when it pops, you'll see up here, the energy's popping all around it whenever they set this thing off. This thing is huge, this signal that's coming out. So that's why I think this is the one. That's their HAARP, but 4 times bigger than the city of New York. So here it is going off over here. Look at these weird circles that are popping every time it blows. This is a loop playing. It's looping right down there. You see it. This is a 1 hour loop. I tried the 6 hour. It wasn't happening earlier. This just started happening at the time. So you can see right here, there's one here. It pops here. Even Japan's getting a little. Now, we know there's units out here parked up in Japan, too. So, something very strange electrically is happening on radar worldwide today. And I even get into Europe. When you get into Europe at the very end here, you'll see shit going on. You're like, whoa. Now here, these are antennas. They're trying either it's not fully picking it up or they're blocking it somehow. There's at least 3 more antennas. One in Madrid going off. Look at the direction. Follow these lines back. You'll get to the center. There's one right here. There's one coming out of here. You got one here. So you'll see it. There's a good probably 3 more antennas sending radar up like that. So most of Europe right there is being zapped as well. So I've never seen this. I watch these all the time. So then I start finding these brown shit all over. See here? These are the smudges. Look at down here in the bottom right. Like, what is going on? Look at all the way by Italy. Look at this. Pitch black, hidden radar. What are they hiding there? Why is the radar black? Those colors aren't even on the chart. So what is going on? And you know me, I just go, why is this happening? And then you start asking questions. But look, this brown stuff, these smudges are everywhere all of a sudden. Look at this. This is just today. This is today. Something strange is going on. Albania is being just slammed with this electrical brown. Is that black goo? What is this stuff? And they're smudging it. They're blurring it on purpose. Why? You see what I'm saying? And then we get into how they're making monkey humans. And then I had to touch back on the Israel attempt to land on the moon. So cheers to them. They almost made it. And that's it. So that's your weather anomaly on the radar for today. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible. So that's 2 days worth of videos, several hours down to about 10 minutes. I wanted you to see the radar. Everybody have a great day. I don't know what you call this even. I don't even know what it's called. But I'm picking up that triangle all the time. So as I keep reporting on it, I mean, I couldn't make this longer and actually show you the ones I've already shown, but besides yesterday and today, I've got months of this. So why it's happening, if you know anybody who's into meteorology or into trying to figure out like where those antennas are or whatever, there's something going on, especially at that triangle location. So this is Wag Chicago. Everybody have a great night. It's April 11th, and that's it. See you tomorrow.